You've heard of the Egyptian pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the Sphinx, they're world famous. But what if I told you that in a country just south of Egypt, there is an ancient kingdom with over double the number of pyramids? And what if I told you that this kingdom was ruled not just by kings, but by powerful warrior queens who fought against the Roman Empire and won? That kingdom was Kush. For over 1,000 years, it was Egypt's most powerful, mysterious, and often overlooked neighbor. This isn't just a story about a forgotten civilization. It's a story about gold, iron, legendary archers, and a powerful rivalry that changed the course of African history. It's the story of a culture that built more pyramids than the Egyptians, ruled the Nile, and even defied a Roman emperor. The land of gold and bows. Downstream from Egypt, where the Nile makes a wide bend and the desert gives way to a strip of green, lies Nubia. This was the home of the Kingdom of Kush. To the Egyptians, it was the land of the bow because of its legendary archers. But to everyone else, it was the land of gold. For centuries, Kush and Egypt were bound together. They traded and shared culture, but they also fought. The Egyptians saw Kush as a source of valuable resources: gold, ivory, ebony, and exotic animals. They built forts to protect their trade routes and even occupied Kush for a time, treating it almost like a colony. The Kushites, or Nubians, adopted many Egyptian traditions, including their gods and hieroglyphs. It seemed like a simple story of a bigger power dominating a smaller one. But then, everything changed. During a time of chaos in Egypt, when the land was divided and weak, a powerful Kushite king named Meroë looked north. He saw a land he believed was divinely ordained to be united under the god Amun, a god worshipped in both Egypt and Kush. This wasn't a simple invasion for him, it was a crusade to save a broken land and restore its ancient glory. The Black Pharaohs. Meroë marched his army north, a massive force led by his elite archers. The Egyptians, divided among themselves, were no match for him. One by one, the Egyptian city-states fell. When Meroë reached the northern capital, he didn't just conquer it, he performed a religious purification ceremony. He considered himself not a conqueror, but a rightful pharaoh, the true successor to Egypt's great kings. And just like that, the 25th dynasty was born, a dynasty of Black Pharaohs. For almost 100 years, these Kushite kings ruled over a united Egypt and Kush. They revived old Egyptian traditions that had been forgotten. They built pyramids and temples, and their rule is now considered a renaissance in Egyptian history. One of the most famous of these kings was Taharqa, who is mentioned in the Bible and was renowned for his building projects. But this new empire was too big to go unnoticed. To the north, a new and terrifying power was rising: the Assyrians. Armed with iron weapons and a brutal military, they were a force of nature. The Kushites, masters of bronze and stone, were no match for the new technology. In a series of crushing defeats, the Assyrians drove the Kushite pharaohs out of Egypt. The 25th dynasty had ended, but this wasn't the end of Kush. It was the start of a new, distinct identity. A new capital, a new power. After their defeat, the Kushites retreated south, moving their capital from Napata to a new city called Meroë. This was a brilliant strategic move. Meroë was farther from Egypt and its meddling neighbors, but it was perfectly positioned on a major trade route. More importantly, it sat on vast deposits of iron ore. The Kushites had learned a hard lesson from the Assyrians, and now they were ready to embrace the future. Meroë quickly became a hub for iron production. The city was dotted with smelting furnaces, and its people became experts in ironworking. This new technology changed everything. The Kushites no longer had to rely on trade for weapons and tools. They could make their own. This led to a golden age for Kush, a period of immense wealth and innovation. It was during this time that the Kushites built their most iconic monuments. The pyramids you see today in Sudan are mostly from this period. Unlike the Egyptian pyramids, they are smaller with steeper sides and were built as tombs for the royal family. These pyramids aren't just proof of Kushite wealth. They're a symbol of a culture that had learned from its past but was now confidently forging its own path. The rise of the Kandakes. While the Meroitic kingdom thrived, a new and remarkable shift in power took place. For centuries, Egyptian society had been dominated by men, But in Kush, women began to ascend to positions of unprecedented power. These powerful queens were known as Candaces. They were not just consorts, they were absolute rulers, leaders of armies, and builders of temples. The most famous of these was Amanirenas. She was a one-eyed warrior queen who took the throne after her husband's death. When the Roman Empire began to push its way into the region, demanding tribute, Amanirenas didn't back down. Instead, she led a massive Kushite army and launched a surprise attack on Roman Egypt. She seized Roman forts, captured garrisons, and even tore down statues of Roman Emperor Augustus. The Romans were shocked and enraged. They sent a huge army to retaliate, driving the Kushites back and even sacking the Kushite capital of Napata. But Amanirenas was a formidable opponent. She used guerrilla tactics to wear down the Romans, and after 5 years of brutal fighting, the two sides finally came to a truce. Amanirenas traveled to the Roman island of Samos to negotiate and secured a peace treaty that was remarkably favorable to Kush. The Romans were so impressed by her defiance that they respected the terms of the treaty. The tale is even more incredible because, as ancient accounts tell us, she had one eye, a disability that would have prevented her from leading an army in many other cultures. Her victory was a testament to her strength, and her defiance of a Roman emperor remains a powerful statement. Another powerful Candace was Amanishakheto. Her massive tomb contained an incredible trove of treasure, gold bracelets, necklaces, and rings that were so intricately crafted they looked like modern jewelry. The sheer amount of gold found in her tomb gives us a glimpse into the immense wealth of the Kushite kingdom, the secrets of the desert. Beyond their pyramids and powerful queens, the Kushites were also a culture of incredible innovation. While the Egyptians were still using papyrus, the Kushites developed their own unique alphabet and writing system called Meroë, which to this day has not been fully deciphered. This is a fascinating mystery, and scholars are still working to unlock the secrets held within their ancient texts. And in one of the most incredible discoveries of modern archaeology, a team of researchers found something truly shocking in the bones of ancient Kushites. When they tested the remains of people who lived in Meroë between 350 and 550 AD, they found a high concentration of tetracycline, a modern antibiotic. This wasn't a fluke. The bacteria that produces tetracycline grows in soil and fermented grains, and it's believed that the Kushites accidentally and brilliantly produced this antibiotic in their beer. So the Kushites may have been using medicine 1,500 years before it was officially discovered in the modern world. This discovery is a powerful reminder of how much we still have to learn about this ancient kingdom. The Kushites were also masters of water management, building complex systems to collect and store rainwater. They had a sophisticated economy based on trade, exporting their gold, iron, and a wide variety of goods all across the ancient world. Their skilled archers were feared throughout the ancient world, and their bows, which were longer and more powerful than their Egyptian counterparts, were a key reason for their military success. Even the Romans were said to be intimidated by the power of the Kushite archers. The legacy of the Kingdom of Kush is immense. They were a civilization that built more pyramids than the Egyptians, a kingdom that defied a superpower, and a culture of innovators and powerful women. They weren't just a footnote to Egyptian history, they were a unique and powerful civilization in their own right. The story of Kush is a powerful reminder that history is not just about the winners. It's about the people who built, fought, and lived in the shadows of the more famous empires. The Kingdom of Kush stood on its own for over 1,000 years, a beacon of power and independence in ancient Africa. If you want to dive deeper into another amazing story of a forgotten kingdom, click on the video popping up on your screen right now.